Hi, I'm Al Bundy here at the state capitol of New Jersey, Trenton, New Jersey, having a special edition of Meet the Leaders. Today we are talking to state legislators about what's going on here in Trenton, and joining me now is Assemblyman Declan O'Scanlan.
How are you? How you doing?
Tell us a little bit about what's going on today. Now, I thought that there were going to be some major discussions today, or everything from legalizing marijuana and that type of thing, and
the redistricting.
Redistricting. And where were you at on this redistricting? Because I understand we already got controversy in other parts of the country.
I was along with just about everybody, 9 million people in New Jersey. Out of those 9 million, I think maybe 10 really were for the redistricting plan. It was awful. It was complicated. And it was antithetical to democracy with a small d. And Republicans, Democrats, right-wing activists, left-wing activists all banded together to kill it. And I'm glad we did. It was democracy in action. So that isn't happening today.
How about minimum wage discussion?
Minimum wage is not happening today.
Now, I heard that you made some,
but
I heard you already made some modifications to the minimum wage, so it will help work with small businesses.
The debate is in a state of flux, and it's a really interesting issue. We all want people to make more money. The question is, how do you want them to do that? Do you want to put rules and regulations and taxes in place that will encourage growth and encourage people to make more money and enable people to make more money organically through the capitalist process? Or do you want to have government come in and stipulate as to what those wages should be? There is a place for a minimum wage, I will concede, I believe, but the $15 an hour minimum wage is too much, too fast. It will hurt the very people the proponents are claiming to want to help. There will be less of those jobs. So, you talk about whatever is going to set the minimum wage at.
I think we see kiosks and all this other automation taking over some of those assignments, and some of that I understand is because of the minimum wage.
I know for a fact, I know some large organizations that are right now just coming up with a number and saying to their people, we know the minimum wage is going to cost this much more. You need to go out and find this savings through automation or however you do it. So those people that say automation's coming anyway, we are accelerating that process. There's no question in my mind. And look, if whatever the minimum wage is, having no job at all means you're making less money than whatever the minimum wage is. So we need to be careful that we don't, again, hurt the very people that we're trying to help.
Stay with me for a second on, I want to talk about another item that was supposed to be talked about. I thought we had a commission set up about legalization of marijuana in a recreational way. Isn't that enough right now, or is there something else we need to be talking about?
Well, there's a lot. There's first off, the medical marijuana program expansion is a big deal and shouldn't be tied to recreational discussions, quite frankly, at all. They're two totally separate things. It's like tying, antibiotics with alcohol.
People also need to understand that recreational marijuana and medical marijuana are actually two different parts of the plant. They're not even the same pieces of the plant.
There is some crossover, but they're two pieces of legislation as well, substantially. Medical marijuana right now and the expansion of that program is being held hostage by the recreational marijuana debate. Let's lance that boil right now and put that.
Help us understand that.
Yeah, look, there's wide support for the expansion of the medical marijuana program. Our program here has been wildly successful. Say what one wants about the system that the Christie administration put together. It gives us a huge amount of credibility. It's a truly clinical program.
Okay, but how's that holding recreational
Well,
hostage?
The folks that want to push recreational marijuana want to hold that hostage. They want to say, look, we get that that's good policy. We're going to do them both together, so that they maybe have some leverage, so that it pushes recreational forward to some extent. I think the time for that is past. I think we should pass recreational as soon as possible. Pass medical as soon as possible, and then get down to the debate of recreational. And there's a fair debate there. I voted no in committee, but there's plenty of room
are you
to talk.
influenced by what I would call home rule? Are you influenced by some of the social justice issues? Why'd you vote no?
Well, right now, the biggest thing outstanding, as far as I'm concerned, is how it's going to affect recreational users, casual recreational users' behavior. Will people who don't use marijuana now all of a sudden say it's legal, we're going to start to do that? You know, suburbanites who get together and have wine now, will they all of a sudden get together and try marijuana? And then what happens? Do they get in their cars, and do we have the ability to educate and then enforce? That's the biggest issue for me right now. And that has not been answered yet to the satisfaction of law enforcement folks that I've spoken to. My own sheriff in Monmouth County, Sean Golden, has been really articulate and non-hyperbolic about this.
Let me just talk to you a little bit about another part of this whole discussion is our opioid crisis.
Yep.
And of course, as we know, some of it's prescription, but there's still even street sales of opioid
The
products.
theory is a lot of people start with a legitimate prescription and then become hooked and end up buying heroin on the street. And that there's no question, a lot of people follow that path.
What are we doing to help?
We've got a lot of programs here in New Jersey. I mean, we passed some of the strictest drug laws in the country before Governor Christie left office. So we both go after the overprescribing, we go after counseling and helping people rather than putting them in prison. We're one of the most effective states, I think, when it comes to exploring options to attack the opioid crisis. Now, there's a theory that we need to do considerably more, and there's talk about that ongoing, because with all that we've done, the problem is still expanding. Look, we want to focus more on helping people, educating them, counseling them, rather than punishment. But there's a lot more that we need to do.
Before we go, I want to ask you about sports betting, which I understand your community is already making a lot of headway and having some success, but I understand it's coming to Freehold soon. Talk to me about that. It's important and why.
Sports betting has been a success. Look, it's already happening. We're not opening the door to something that wasn't going on before. We're bringing it into sunlight, regulating it, taxing it, and taking money out of the pockets of people who have been running illegal gambling rings for many years. So the expansion of sports betting, the implementation of it, expansion of it.
How's it doing at Monmouth Park?
Doing very well. We're doing very well.
And are you looking forward to coming to Freehold?
Yeah, I think expanded. You know, it's legit in certainly racetracks. So, but Monmouth Park has been way out front. Look, the Dennis Drazen and the people who run Monmouth Park are why we have sports betting now. We have to give credit where it's due. They fought the fight legally and through law changes. So that's been really exciting to see that happen.
More people at the racetrack.
Yep, no question. It's been a big help. We still have more to go. We have other things to help horse racing, which helps everyone in New Jersey, and we're on track to do some of that as well.
Okay, we're out of time, but we're here in the State House talking to Declan O'Scanlan, and I want to thank you for being on Meet the Leaders.
Thank you.